Season 2 with FC Arges begins today then, and we are into the top division of Romanian football, and hopefully we can stay there this season. We really don't want to get relegated straight back down to the second division. And obviously because we have been promoted, we've got a bit of money to spend, and in fact we've already spent a fair chunk of money as well. We've spent £500,000 on a new player. 4 players so far have joined. Obviously, it's only the 1st of July at the moment, so there's still plenty of time of the transfer window to go, and probably some new faces joining as well. So far, the 4 players joining the club are Florian Heiter, who was actually on loan last season. He was out of contract with his initial club, so we've brought him in on a free transfer. Probably not going to see much of him. Our new number 1 goalkeeper is the Central African Republic goalkeeper with 10 caps to his name, Dominique Yafuigain. Might be his name. Who knows? It's probably not his name, but we're going to go with that. He's come in because he's obviously very, very good. He will be our number 1 keeper for the season. We've also spent £81,000 on Ousmane Kamara, a Burkinabe right winger, left winger, and striker from CF Rahimo? Is it Rahimo? I'm going to go with Rahimo from his native Burkina Faso. He's good for £81,000. I think we've got ourselves a very good player here. Going to be playing week in, week out, probably on that right-hand side. And for £500,000, £500,000 from ASEC Mimosas in Ivory Coast, Karamoko Sankara, 20 years of age, 5 caps and a goal as well to his name for the Ivory Coast. He's an absolute beast. He is an absolute beast. He's getting paid quite a lot of money compared to some of our other players, but when you see how good he is in comparison to everyone else in our team, you can see why he's getting paid more. We do have to worry about this £1.2 million minimum fee release clause because I think somebody might want to trigger that if he's any good for us this season. Also, if we get relegated, $700,000. I definitely don't want that to happen. So obviously, as we're only on the 1st of July, not a huge amount of transfers have really taken place yet. Right now, we are predicted to finish down in 13th place, which I will be quite happy to finish there. It's not great. Obviously, we will be in a relegation scrap as well, but 13th place should be good enough to keep us in the league. And if we have a quick look at the league table, there are 16 teams in total. The top 6 go into a Champions playoff. The bottom 10, I think it's the bottom 10, isn't it? If that's how numbers work, go into a relegation playoff as well. I expect we're going to be in that relegation playoff, which means we then go into a league of 10 teams. And if we win or come second, we have a chance of actually qualifying for Europe. So it's actually quite good in a way if we do finish in the bottom half. Because if we're really good, but not quite good enough, we might even qualify for Europe anyway. We're going to jump forward a little bit further into the future, probably somewhere in August, I think, whilst the window is still open, see what's happened so far in our league season. So it's the 3rd of August, and we have done a bit of transfer business. Luc Fleurs has left the club, signing for Pardubice. I've never heard of Pardubice. Where are they from? They're from Czechia, apparently. He's gone for, I should know this, it's £525,000 for a free transfer, and a player who didn't really play for us, Luc Fleurs. That's some decent money for us. We've also sold this man for about £50,000. That's pretty much all the business we've done. But joining the club, we have gone back to Africa because basically you get a lot of value for your money if you go to Africa. Etboy Akpan is a Nigerian right back and right winger. I want him in really to be a backup right back, although he can play quite comfortably, I think, as a winger on that right-hand side. Free transfer until the end of next season. I'm not sure how much football he's really going to get. Sticking with Nigerians, we've got Clement Ogbobe. That's probably, again, not how it's said, but he is a very good central midfielder. We obviously deploy defensive midfielders in our system. Going to be that ball-winning midfielder on the defend kind of role. And I think he's good, isn't he? 3.5-star current ability, not going to get much better. He's already played a league game as well for us, scoring goal and getting an assist. He could be an absolute game changer. Also joining on loan, we've got Oko Afamafuna. Again, probably not his name. He is a wing-back by trade. We brought him in because we need some more options on that left-hand side. We might need to retrain him to be a left-back if we kind of deploy a left-back position, but he's costing us absolutely nothing for the season. And we have also loaned in Andreas Chiratoiu. Why am I doing this in Romania where I cannot pronounce absolutely anything at all? We brought him in on loan because basically we need more Romanian footballers. We've got too many non-Romanians playing for us. We needed to get some more Romanian players in. The fans hated this because obviously he's a youngster and he's not our youngster, and they're moaning that we're developing somebody else's player. So that is obviously our transfer business so far. A whole bunch of loan deals as well going on. We have kicked off the season and we have kicked it off pretty well. We are currently top of the table. A 2-0 win, a 3-3 draw, a 2-0 win, and a 3-0 win against the team that were pushing us every single step of the way last season in Selenbar, which means we are top of the table, but we are the only team who's played 4 games. So realistically, we are going to be dropping down maybe to 4th, I think, possibly even lower, but we've got a pretty good goal difference. Something I have noticed as well, we're not playing at our home stadium. We are playing at this place, Miaveni, and it is owned by CS Miaveni. They are the team that play there, not us. 8,000 capacity. At the end of 2 seasons' time, we're moving to our stadium, which I can't see what it's like. I have no idea the capacity of it. I've got not a clue. So that hopefully, if that's bigger than 8,000, that would be really good for us because we might get more people in and get a bit more wage ticket sales. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, you know the deal. We're going to jump forward now to the end of the transfer window. Probably a few more bits of business are going to take place. We do have no money, but we have a fair amount of wages to spend, so we're probably going to look at spending a little bit of that. It's now the 10th of September. We've played 8 games, so just 4 more matches since we were last together, and we've picked up just 4 more points as well, so it's not gone particularly well. We've dropped down to 4th place in the table as well. Let's see what transfer business we've done in order to hopefully try and keep us in the top 6. We've sold one of our top goal scorers from last season, Bogdan Ruzu. He has left. He's gone over to Portugal to sign 4 Belenenses for not a lot of money. It's actually only £15.75 thousand, but we were not going to be playing him this season. And we have brought in 2 further players, once again, from Africa, because they count as EU. We've got Michael Wango, who is a right-back and a defensive midfielder. We've brought him in for that defensive midfield role there, because basically, we need some more depth there. He's obviously pretty good. At 30 years of age as well, he's got a fair amount of experience. I'm not expecting him to be playing too consistently, but he will be getting quite a lot of game time. Probably, I'm going to say 50% of the matches Wango should play. And we have also brought in ourselves a brand new striker in the shape of Njika Valentine. He has been brought in basically because we sold Rusu and I wanted somebody in to kind of fill in those shoes. Valentine, I think, looks pretty decent. Physically looks pretty decent mentally and technically as well. 14 finishing, I'm hoping, means he's going to get himself quite a lot of goals this season. Speaking of a lot of goals this season, like I said, we have played 4 matches since you were last with me, and that does include a 3-0 win against FCSB, which included goals from Turda, Sankara and Dorian Bertrand, and then we lose twice on the spin against Steaua Bucharest, and then against Petrolul Pliotzi. Probably not how it's... I'm going to get it wrong every time, okay? Going to get it wrong every time. And then a 0-0 draw as well against UTA Arad. It's not started particularly well now. I mean, it started well, didn't it? It started very well. The first 5 games really, really good. And now we might be slipping up, kind of showing our inexperience here. And arguably, you can kind of expect it. Just so you're aware, Sankara has started 7 matches, scoring 4 goals, getting 2 assists to his name. He's going to be absolutely invaluable to us. And so is Georgie Turner. From last season, he was very good defensively. This season, he's got 3 goals and an assist as well, after just 8 games from centre-back. Tactically, this is what we are going for currently. I'm making sure Sankara is going to be playing at the fair amount of games. I think if I asked the assistant to pick anyway, Sankara would be the first name on the team sheet, but I just want to make sure they play him there and not on the left wing, because obviously he's a natural left winger. We want Kamara ideally playing on that right-hand side as well. So basically, we're just making sure Sankara gets his game time, which he surely will do, and he'll score loads of goals. I want 15 goals from him by January. Well, it's not quite January. We're actually on the 21st of December, just before Christmas. Just as the winter break starts, we have played 21 games. For some reason, FCSB, who are just above us, have only played 17. I don't quite understand how that works, but there we are. We are 7th place in the table, 31 points on the board. I think it's safe to say we're not getting relegated, which arguably was our main target for the season. Getting relegated early on in this save would have been an absolute nightmare. When it comes to fixtures and results then, it's been kind of all over the place, if I'm perfectly honest. Draws, wins and defeats, just completely all over the place. Not really sure how I can really explain this to you. It's just a bit of a mess, isn't it? We've been knocked out. I believe we've been knocked out of the cup. We finished 3rd in the cup in our group stage, which means we are out of the Romanian Cup, which is not ideal. But you can see, we're doing okay. I'm not expecting the world. I'm not expecting us to be challenging for the title. Kamara, on that right-hand side, has got 7 goals, 6 goals in the cup as well. So he is doing the business. Where is he? Where's his name? Sankara has not scored for a while. That's a worry. He's only got 6 goals in the league and 3 goals in the cup. He's got some assists as well, so 5 in total. But he's not actually doing as well as I thought he would. And the lack of Njika Valentine's name here is even more concerning. Maybe we're just not playing, because we're obviously only playing 1 striker. So Valentine is probably not really doing much. He's started once and come off the bench 5 times. So far, no goals. Not ideal, really, is it? We've jumped all the way forward to the other side of the January transfer window, and we've obviously played a few matches as well. We have done a very small amount of transfer business, not a lot at all. We brought in, I think, one player. We sold one player as well, so we'll just have a quick look at them. It might have been a risk. Dorian Bertrand, the Madagascan left winger who was so good for us last season, actually wasn't terrible for us this season either. 16 starts, 3 goals and an assist to his name. We've moved him on to Concarneau in France because basically I've replaced him already. We've got in somebody much better. And he was cheaper than Bertrand as well. So Victor Kanazai, that's what I'm going to call him. A Croatian left and right midfielder. I brought him in for versatility, but I think he is going to be very, very good for us. Primarily playing on that left-hand side, cutting in. Even though he's naturally a winger, he can play as an inside forward as well, or an inverted winger. I think Kanazai is going to be very useful for us on that wing. And he's only cost £17,250, so he's actually been a lot cheaper than Dorian Bertrand. And like I said, we have played some matches as well, which have kind of gone all right. We've drawn, we've beaten Arad, which is very good, because that's a team that we seem to lose to quite often, if I'm perfectly honest. We've then lost against Craiova. We've beaten Cluj, which is a very good result, and then being absolutely battered by Craiova. Again, the other Craiova. There's 2 Craiovias. Fair enough. Yeah, we've got beaten by the other one. 4-0. Not a good performance, that one. We've also obviously got our youth intake coming in very soon in March. And this is the preview. They say it's an excellent intake. So, because we're now in the top division, excellent might mean we get somebody who is really good, sort of 130 potential or higher. So I'm hoping we get that. It looks like if we are going to get anyone, it's going to be a centre-back, because we've got at least one of our centre-backs looks promising. And then most of other positions don't look great. It's an excellent intake with one good player. I'm not sure that's how it works. Well, it's now the 21st of March, and we have had our youth intake, and our one very good centre-back, I don't know who it is. I assume it might be this guy. He might be very good. I'm not quite sure at 15 years of age. Apparently the best player is Cosmin Pop, who is a left and right midfielder. I do think he looks pretty good, so I think Pop is definitely going to come in. We might even give him some game time between now and the end of the season, because we have finished the regular season, and it's gone all right. We have finished 10th. We've not really done massively well, but we're nowhere near relegation, put it that way. As long as we don't finish from 13th downwards, we should be fine. I think Iasi are so far behind us. What was that, 12 points? I don't think they're really going to close that gap. And obviously now we have to play every team who are in this group, and we don't play any of the good teams. And we should be able to beat quite a lot of them, like the Stellenbosch, the Steaua Bucharest, the Clujes, the Iasis. We should be able to do quite well against these. The reason why the end of the season has kind of gone a little bit poorly is because we've only picked up 1 point from our final 4 games. Michael Wango scoring the only goal in the Cluj game, giving us a 1-1 draw, and then losing against Rapid, losing against Hermannstad, losing against Dynamo Bucharest as well. Ousmane Kamara, I think, might be our top scorer. He seems to be scoring a lot of goals, and we're not getting the goals so much from Sankara. Sankara's only got 7. Kamara's on 17 in all competitions. Sankara is on 10. Turd is now on 6 as well. Old Michael Wango's picked up 3 since joining in the summer. We've got Radescu's got a couple of goals. I mean, we're not scoring the goals that we're kind of expecting, but the fact that Kamara's scoring lots is very helpful. The fact that Sankara's doing all right is quite helpful, but his performances have not been very good at all. Right, we are now going to jump forward to the end of the relegation group. So all 10 games, I think it's 10 games or 9 games potentially, we're going to jump through to the other side of those to see how well we get on. And hopefully we're not in the bottom 4. Realistically, that's all we're after. If we're in the top 2, we might actually have to play for some European football as well. It was so close. It was so close. We have finished in 3rd in the relegation group, which means I don't think we are into the playoffs for European football. It does not look like it, does it? Kind of frustrating. Definitely, I say kind of, definitely very frustrating, isn't it? But we are not relegated. Ultimately, that is the main thing. Cluj winning the league. We finished 3rd, technically 9th, I believe, in the table. And we actually did all right in the final few games of the season. Obviously, we did lose a few games here or there. Voluntari, Rapid, and Sepsi. But we did beat Selenbar. We beat Pliotzi. Still not quite sure if that's how it's said at all. Steaua Bucharest, we beat Iasi, we beat Cluj, and then we beat Craiova. Sankara scoring a hat-trick. He's finished the season on 12 goals somehow. So since the league split, he scored a total of 5 goals and 3 assists as well. So he's done all right in the end. Looking at the squad then, 22 goals for Kamara. He's done very well. He's done way better than I thought he would. He wants to move to a club with a stronger squad, which is, it's going to be tough, mate. Definitely not ideal for that one. Sankara, I assume, same deal. We might be in a bit of a pickle in the summer. we might need to sell some of the bigger name players, because basically, if they don't want to be here and we can cash in on them, maybe that's the way we need to go. So that's going to do it for this season. Next season, obviously, I think we need to try and work our way to finishing in the top 6. Financially, we haven't really got any money. I don't think we're going to get any money either. We are £635,000 in debt, which means transfer-wise, it's probably not going to be a lot there. It says next season budget is guaranteed to be a minimum of £0, which is always helpful. Wage budget, we're doing all right on. We're doing okay on wages. And then, like I said, we do have some players here who are worth a bit of money. Turda, Kamara, Valentine, Sankara, even Sarazuela, that we might be able to shift on to kind of boost up the finances that we have in the club. I don't really want to lose most of them. Valentine, by the way, I've transfer listed because he basically played once and 13 off the bench and didn't score a single goal. In fact, he barely even got 1 XG. That's going to do it then for this episode and this season. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy, do please remember to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. I will be back for Season 3 with Arguez, and hopefully we are finishing in the top 6 because we want to be pushing for Europe. We need to be getting into Europe sooner rather than later.